blotting out noise. So you've heard that one of the keys to success is, some people call it focus, some people call it self-discipline. Self-discipline has been called the master skill that makes all the other skills possible. And why is that so important? Because obviously, if you're a dilettante in every area and you don't really focus on things, it's going to be hard to be successful. The world is so competitive that to be world-class in anything takes almost like a lifetime or a large period of time anyway of just intense, focus. So it is contradictory, because they find that some of the greatest achievers have like a laser-like focus, but at the same time, they also have a little bit broader focus as well, because you have to be aware of what's going on in different fields, because your field might be financial services, but the blockchain might come along and just disrupt you out of existence if you have no idea that the blockchain is coming, or you might be in human resources, but if you have no idea that artificial intelligence could take over human resources, or these are just a couple of examples. So you have to understand not only your field, but other fields that could impact it. So it has to be some kind of breadth to it. But what I want to focus on today is blotting out the noise, what that means, and why it's so important. So how do you become focused to the point where you don't become distracted? Because most people, it's like they become distracted by social media, they'd be distracted by their relationships, they'd be distracted by failure. So you could be distracted intellectually, you could be distracted emotionally, you could be distracted by relationships. And what is it that allows people to just keep going forward? Like success, like you've seen the famous line, most people think success is a straight line, but it's really like this incredibly squiggly thing, that takes forever. How do you erase some of those squiggles so that success becomes more of a straight line? It's impossible to erase every single distraction, but there are ways to eliminate a lot of distractions. Not that they're easy to do, but simple and easy is two different things. So let's focus on what some of those things are. One of them is what I call strong-mindedness, and there's different aspects to it, but the most important one is probably what's called certainty. Tony Robbins talks about the power of certainty, that there's a famous principle. I don't think Tony Robbins said this, but I did hear it someplace that, I can give a quote from my book, which says that it's based upon this famous quote that whenever two people come into a room or come into contact with each other in good faith is important, because if one is just trying to manipulate the other, then this principle doesn't necessarily apply. But whenever two people come together in good faith, the one who is more certain is going to influence the one who is less certain. I mean, influence is not 100%. Two people can influence each other, but certainty determines influence. I mean, some people call it confidence. And strong-mindedness, what I was saying, is has many different aspects, but certainty is one of the key elements, because if you're certain of what you're doing, then you're not going to be distracted easily by small defeats, even moderate failures, by naysayers. So one aspect of certainty is people pleaser. Some people, it's like they don't want to stand alone. They said success has many I forget what it's called. Success has many suitors or brothers or something like that, but failure is an orphan. So to be certain, you have to be the type of person that is not so much of a people pleaser, because not everybody is going to go along with your idea. Like in this world, a lot of people have a lot of different ideas, and if you're looking for just other people to always agree with you, then you won't be certain, and if you're not certain, then you can't block out the noise. The other thing is that you also have to be very thorough, because what happens is some people are very certain, but they're only certain because they haven't really thought things through. And then, they're certain. But then when, incontrovertible evidence comes along that shows them that they're wrong, then their certainty is, quickly obliterated. So to be certain, you have to not be a people pleaser. You have to be someone that thinks things through at a deep level. You have to have a certain amount of domain expertise. So certainty is one major way of blotting out the noise. Another major way of blotting out the noise is having a growth mindset. And that means that you, there's a famous expression, I heard it from Andreessen Horowitz, have very strong opinions loosely held. So if you have a growth mindset, that means that you're always questioning, you're always learning what are better ways of doing things, better way. It's kind of like what I think it's Mel Robbins or one of the self-help ones says is everything is figure outable. It might be Marie Forleo who says that. Having a growth mindset means that you're not locked in place, that you see problems as just challenges and opportunities, not as just obstacles. So if you want to be able to blot out the noise, have a lot of certainty, and that certainty comes from several sources, including investigating things in depth, and not being a people pleaser, being strong in your own identity and opinions, but also having the growth mindset to be able to not see obstacles as impediments, but as opportunities.